Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Why am I so much like to the left? Yeah, move me to the middle. Anyway, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to one of your favorite streams of the week, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to talk about Frimpong. We are here to talk about Trent being booed. And we are unfortunately here to talk about Benjamin Sesko as well. So make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel if you're ready to do so. Everyone, please hit the like button. Everyone, please subscribe. My partner in crime, my brother, absolutely love him to pieces. But he's a big piece of shit. Man like Tom Little is here.
Hello, mate. Hello.
Hello, big up.
Couldn't help but notice you called me your partner in crime today. Is it
Say
because
that
of Ben?
again?
Couldn't help but notice you called me your partner in crime today. Does that mean we are united on a front for once? Regards,
I mean,
Benjamin Sesko.
there is a topic we are going to be united on, for sure.
Sesko. To be fair, I don't know your thoughts on Frimpong, so we might be united on that.
Oh, we'll speak on that. We'll speak on it. Guys, Drifty will be joining us in a bit, but joining us today, special, on this Tuesday afternoon, Mr. Controversy is in the building. Man like JJ. How are you doing, JJ, mate?
I'm good. Why am I Mr. Controversy? Why?
Oh,
I'm
really?
Special with you two on the.
I'm
You
glad
wanna
someone
go
else
there?
got the shit nickname for once.
Exactly.
I only get the
Oh,
shit
you
on the
thought it was
channel. Someone else
Jamie.
got it for once.
He thought Jamie, right? That's what he thought. I tell you, I because I know what you're gonna say on the first topic.
Okay, that's fine.
There you go.
Anyway, happy to be on. Big up to everyone. Make sure we're smashing the likes. What's going on here, Sam and Tom? Good.
Big up to you.
You're a much better guest than me. You make sure to ask people to like and subscribe. I forget to do that. I just
I
people
make
to
sure
do
people
the
need
decent
to pay
thing.
their debts. I mean, they're indebted to Hussam. Do you know what I mean? So they gotta make sure they pay
Appreciate
their
you.
likes.
Appreciate you. But I think Tom forgets to ask people to like, subscribe even on his own channel. Drifty will be joining us.
I remember to ask right at the very end when I'm about to turn the stream off and everyone's fucked off at that point.
Yeah, literally. This guy asks at the end, like people been watching you for an hour, bro. Anyway, big up everyone locked in. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Drifty will be joining us in a bit. So before we even get to the transfer stuff and all that, I want to start off by the Trent thing. I saw Tom post a video, very passionate video explaining why it's okay to boot Trent and all this.
Could we just before we start, Sam, can I get a little bit of praise for 3 streams in a week? Fucking hell, where's that come from? Where's that come from?
Well done.
No streams for a month and then 3 streams in a week.
That's like August Diaz right there.
When
you and him are very similar, brother. You also operate when the sun is out.
When the bevies are offering the shops and I can buy multiple at once and I can have drinks throughout the day constantly, you get multiple streams. That's what it is.
Yeah, there you go. See, the sun is out and you're out. Tom, I'm gonna start off with you. Talk to me, brother. Trent booed at Anfield. It's a whole thing now across social media. Talk to me, Habibi.
First things first, I am one of the ones who agrees with it. I think that these fans travel the country, spend thousands, if not tens of thousands of pounds every single year to support these players. They have every right to voice how they want their opinions and voice that how they want to. It was always going to happen if we go back to the streams that we were doing in January here, Sam. I said the moment he can't announce it because the moment he does announce it, he's fucked. And that's what happened. I don't think anyone expected it to be anyone who didn't understand the situation expected it to be as bad as it was. I kind of knew it was always going to be that bad. Because this is the first situation where it's happened for over 20 years. This is this generation's McManaman, if you want, and people forget that McManaman got booed as well when he done it. It's seen as a betrayal, and if you're betrayed, you're going to be angry. I don't know where this notion's come from that our fan base have to sit there and clap someone for what is perceived to be a disrespect to the football club. I don't want it to tar the rest of the season. I'm sick of the carry on already, and I'm sick of the people who have no affiliation to the football club and have blots in their book trying to be all part of the moral upstanding group of people. We did what we did. I don't regret any of it. I don't think many people regret any of it. It's done. We've got our message across. I'm sure if he plays again on the Palace game, there'll be a bit of booing then. Won't be as big as it was against Arsenal, but there'll be a bit of booing then. And then that'll be that. We're not going to let this tarnish title celebrations. We're not going to. I do think the manager got it wrong. I don't think he should have come on. I think it's still a very volatile situation, which was to be expected and shouldn't have been allowed to happen, should we say. But I don't regret it. To all the people who sit there, because there's been a lot of rival fans this week who've been sitting there trying to throw You'll Never Walk Alone in our face without understanding what that means. You'll Never Walk Alone is about people who are part of the football club. In my eyes, in many other people's eyes, Trent Alexander-Arnold's not a part of the football club anymore. We're not playing for anything. We're just turning up so we don't get fined. Fucking hell. We trained 1 day a week in the last 2 weeks. Our squad are in Dubai whilst our manager's in Ibiza with the coaching staff. We are not taking this seriously. In my mind, this is pre-season. Pre-season's got off to a bit of a ropey start. A lost season. But at the end of the day, in my eyes and people's eyes, he's not a part of this team anymore. So why would we support someone who's not a part of the team, who doesn't want to be part of the team? I just think there's a lack of understanding from people's sides, and a lot of people trying to play the moral high ground and act like they've never done the same thing, like Arsenal fans did boo Xhaka, Ashley Cole, Robin van Persie, like Chelsea fans haven't booed Mason Mount, like Man City fans didn't boo James Milner. That's just off the top of my head. I'm sure if I properly looked into it, I could find more and more situations of this happening. So I don't think we did anything wrong. I think our fans have every right to voice their opinion the way they want to. That was how they wanted to. And I don't think it's going to be this big circus that carries on for the rest of the season, though.
The one thing, the one thing about this, that's pissed me off the most, and I've been very balanced with this conversation. I said, me personally, I didn't boo him. Me and Tom disagree on this, but I think the issue is, for me, I despise rival fans fucking waffling like they have not done this. I saw Arsenal fans boo the shit out of Iboué, boo the shit out of Xhaka, their club captain. Then he threw his shirt on the floor and told the fans to fuck off. And then they welcomed him with open arms, like literally the season after. I've seen United fans boo Wayne Rooney. I've seen all of these things, guys. The problem is this is happening in 2025. And because it's happening in 2025, everyone's trying to do this whole, moral high ground. We've never done this before. Every single club has booed a player, every single club, maybe other than Man City because they haven't had legends like that, or all their legends are Mo's age. So other than that, bro, everyone has had moments where they have booed their player and all that. It's just so jarring, bro. These guys just acting for the sake of it. Booed. By the way, if you want to talk about club legends, the reason why Arsenal have 3 league titles in the Premier League era is Arsene Wenger. These guys did protests and march to get Wenger out their club. We want Wenger out. Say we want Wenger out. That's way worse than booing Trent because he's going to Madrid. And on top of that as well, and this is just me being honest right now as well, guys, the situation that Trent is leaving Liverpool in is a situation of champions. It's a situation where we've won a league title. So it's not the fact. It's just not like he's leaving a team that's 12th. Be grateful. okay, he's a club legend in my eyes. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's a world-class player. And as I've been saying for the last week, me personally, I'm upset. I'm sad that he's leaving. I'm gutted that he's leaving. You know, there are different emotions on the emotional spectrum. It's not just anger or happiness. There are other different types of emotions. Me, I'm sad. I'm upset at the fact that he's leaving, and the Egyptian and the Dutchman are staying. So I'm upset at the fact that he's leaving. But what we're not going to do is sit up here and act like, oh, no fan base has ever done this before. And also, let's not forget, there are people at Anfield who didn't boo Trent. There's someone who raised a banner that said, Ta Trent, which is the Scouse way. I'll translate because Tom is not Scouse. That's the Scouse way of saying thank you. You know, so like, obviously, not everyone is booing the guy, but people just act like it's the only fan base who do this, and it's just so jarring, honestly. Jerry, what's your thoughts on this whole situation?
Ironically, because I know you call me Mr. Controversy, I actually agree with a lot with what Tom said. I think, along with what I think other fans, trying to do the moral high ground thing, I think is correct. I think Arsenal booing Xhaka, they did that. That is true. And I agree with a lot. My only issue with it's not my only issue, but the biggest issue for me is that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with Liverpool, is because although all other teams do it, Liverpool don't do it. The fact that Núñez is rubbish, he misses a chance, Gravenberch scores a goal, and we chant Núñez, Núñez, Núñez. Although it frustrates me, this is something that, the fans never turned on Núñez no matter what. No matter what. We've had players in the team that were racist. The club didn't turn on the player no matter what. We had players that went and, pretended to be injured before in the team. They came back into the team and were part of the squad. Now, for me, when I think of Liverpool, is as long as you wear that red top, again, you're entitled to feel how you want to feel. That is fine. As Tom said, fans pay their hard-earned money to go and support Liverpool. They travel up and down the country. 100%. They get to, feel how they want to feel about the situation. I can't tell you how to feel, Hussam. You can't tell me how to feel. We all agree on that. But one thing I can say, though, is there's a way in which you act on your feelings, correct? Now, I'm in your camp. I'm devastated that Trent's leaving. I think he's the best right back to ever play in the Premier League. I think at the end of his career, he'll be discussed in the realms with the likes of Marcelo, Dani Alves, and co, because I think he's that good. That is my opinion. That is where I'm upset about it. Do I care that he's leaving per se? Not really, because ultimately I think Liverpool are going to be fine. My emotions towards players leaving left when Suarez left for me. When Suarez left for me, it was done. For me, that was the heartbreaking thing, because we had nothing. And look where we've come since then. I mean, Jurgen Klopp has left. Do you know what I mean? And for a lot of fans, it was, oh my God, it might be done. That might be over. Do you know what I mean? Our best manager in the modern era has left. But look, to boo a player that, again, has contributed massively to what Liverpool are right now, whilst he's wearing the red top, being from the city, irrespective of what you think of his how he's operated, right, is, for me, Liverpool, I've always associated them with a classiness that we don't do that. United can do that. Arsenal can do that. Whoever can do that. I don't want to be compared with Arsenal. For me, that's not a barometer to use. Oh, but Arsenal did it, so yeah, we can do it. No. Liverpool do things differently. We speak about it meaning more. We speak about doing things the right way. We are different. And ultimately, that situation there, and again, the isolated incident, it looked to me, oh, it's not. We're the same as every other fan base. We're the same as the Arsenal fans that we critique and that we judge. We're the same as the deluded Arsenal fans or the deluded United fans that go and do and boo Xerxes, and we speak about. It was exactly the same thing. And that's fine if you want to view it like that. For me, it was more of a disappointing factor, because you can go and do it another way, in my opinion. You can go and praise Conor Bradley. You can call Steven Gerrard. You can not clap. You can not go and chant his name. But as long as he's on the football pitch, he's contributing to the team. I agree with Tom. In hindsight, he shouldn't have gone and played. He shouldn't have been in the starting line. He could have stayed on the bench. He could have done a Chiesa and stayed at home. I 100% agree. But we cannot control that. What we can control, though, is the environment that we go and create. And for me, with Trent coming onto the pitch and the way 70, from what I hear, I wasn't at the ground, but 70% of fans went and booed him. That went and contributed.
100%. It was mostly booze. It was for the most part, it was booze. Yeah.
And so negatively, and it contributed, obviously, adversely and negatively impacted the team on the pitch. And for me, that was the biggest problem because of all of that, we didn't focus on Liverpool and the fact that we could go and win a game. And I wanted to win that game, irrespective of whether we're on holiday or not. We were 2-0 up. Yeah, it went to 2-1. Him coming on, it just zapped the energy out of the crowd. And I would have liked Liverpool fans in the stadium at that time to do it better. And that is my only gripe with it. I hope I've explained it as clearly as I could.
Okay, well, everyone's going to have their thoughts and their feelings on the situation, and everyone is entitled to. At the end of the day, I just think that when we say this notion that we've never booed before and it's something's completely out the blue is not true. But I like to think that we don't boo players because they've not played well. We don't boo players just because they've had a bad day at the office. If we're booing a player, it's for a bigger reason. And there have been situations.
Just not to interrupt. Again, I'm just speaking. I've never seen it. It could have happened with Matt Manaman, but I was born in '96.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have experienced that, right? But I'm saying, did we boo Suarez when it came out that he was thing? No. Did we boo Coutinho when it came out that he done what he done? No.
Not until he came back, no.
But that's my point. That's the biggest thing is when we haven't done that, right? And these were things that we knew at the time, but we didn't do that, right? We've decided to go and do it at this situation. And for me, that's the biggest problem I see in it is the hypocrisy. And yes, we can say fans are hypocritical and stuff like that. I would always believe, from my experience, Liverpool fans have never done that, as you would argue, because we haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I know you haven't seen ever a Liverpool player, whilst any Liverpool player wearing the red top be booed. I can't remember it.
I just think I get your point. I think that the thing here though is, I'm not saying that we were right to not boo Luis Suarez for what he done, because vile, but this is a situation where we are booing a player who has chosen to step away from the football club and has chosen to make it clear that they no longer want to be a part of the football club. Therefore, in many people's minds, we are treating them like a former player returning. And the one thing that we do when these former players return, unless you left in the right way, unless you left in good circumstances, but handled everything correctly. I'm just thinking of the ones that we played. Whenever Adam Lallana comes back, he gets a lovely reception. I'm sure if we ever played Firmino or Mane or Fabinho or whoever, when they come back, they get a lovely reception. Milner always gets a lovely reception. Danny Ings got a lovely reception for years. But I think that this situation it feels like he has chosen to walk away. He's chosen to lead the club on and spit in our face almost as an argument after how many years.
Do you guys think the fact Salah and Van Dijk stayed makes this whole thing worse? On a real? Have you ever thought about it from that perspective? Because I really think that I haven't really seen anyone mention this, even online and stuff. But I think the fact the other two stayed is making this way worse for him.
By the way,
it always would have been bad though. Even if Salah and Van Dijk hadn't stayed, it would have been bad.
Sorry to interrupt. By the way, Madrid, I tell you this for free. I would go and take your girl easy. So don't even start talking about my girlfriend and stuff. I'm 10 times better than looking than you. I guarantee you I can go and take your missus. But I've got a girl and I'm loyal. So let's not talk about that. Let's just keep it civil and talk about football.
Who are you talking about? Who said
Madrid or something like that in the chat? It's respect, but it's funny. Anyway.
Time him out, guys.
Yeah. But big up anyway. The chat's always respectful, but that's just obviously taking it too far. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway,
continue.
Go on.
I just think that the Trent situation is always going to be harder because he's a Scouser for one, and I think everyone kind of understands now why that feeling is the way it is because of the fact that he's a Scouser, and also the fact that he made that his brand whilst at the football club. And I'm not saying that was a bad thing, but it does come with higher expectations and higher standards. If you're sitting there ever since you broke through talking about how it is the big thing, how it is, you want to stay at the club your whole career and then you jump ship at what many people look at as the first opportunity that presents itself to you. There's going to be that element of animosity. If Van Dijk and Salah had left, or if Van Dijk and Salah were in the same situation, Trent still would have got it the worst, because I think it would have been directed differently.
I agree with that.
Salah and Van Dijk, the anger would have been directed towards the ownership, because they'd come out and said they wanted to stay, so it wouldn't be a case of they've turned their back on the club, it's the club's turned their back on the player. Therefore, the anger would be directed at those in power. Whereas in this situation, it looks like the player has turned his back on the club, therefore the anger is directed towards the player rather than the club in this situation.
Yeah, I think, again, all that stuff I agree with. I just think the biggest problem, and that's something that, again, I just don't agree with, and that's something that, again, we just differ, is ultimately the club could have dealt with the situation from earlier. You let it get to this situation. He's now decided to go and leave. 100% be annoyed at it. I'm annoyed about it. I want Trent in the team, right? But ultimately, if us as a fan base, if he doesn't want to be a part of us, that's fine. But I'm the type of person to rather focus on the players that are there. Hence why I was happy Brad started. He didn't need to be in the team in hindsight, right? But to boo our players affects everyone in the team, because guess what? We're feeling that. Well, some fans are feeling the way they are because they're fans. The football players that are his teammates, right? That at the club, they've got a completely different attitude towards that. Virgil van Dijk, even though he went and said, for me, this is the best place to be, he said, my situation compared to me and Mo's situation compared to Trent's is completely different, because at the stage of the career that they're at the fact that, you know, this is their last big contract and this is this they've got family, stability, etc. It is completely different, right? Mm-hmm. You go and look at the way Szoboszlai reacted, the fact that Luis Diaz came up to him. These are things that they're in the team. They know of the situation. They would have known before us, right? And even Robbo didn't like the fact that his friend was being booed. This is a player that's contributed to Liverpool. And those are things that, irrespective of what you do in terms of a decision, whether I feel like that. I'm someone that I'm not someone that, you know, I don't know, let's say Hussam did something to me, right? I would never go and then after that forget all the good things and all the positive things that he's certainly done. And for me, there's a way in which you can voice your discontent. And I think actions is the way to go and do it. I could be annoyed at, you know, my flipping brother for doing something to me. If I punch him in the face because of it, it's completely different if I tell him to F off. Do you know what I mean? There's a different in action. And I think that...
Yeah, and I do think it'll be dealt with differently by fans now. I think that... I don't think you'll be seeing the same volatile reaction towards him if he plays the last game. I'm not including the Brighton game because it's away fans.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to be how they're going to be, and they have probably more right to be how they want to be, because they're the ones that travel hours every week, spend even more money. Yeah. If they want to boo, they are completely well within their right to. But when it's back at home, I do think you'll see a bit more of a Bradley sort of celebration rather than a Trent booing thing. I think you'll see it more so that way, and you might hear the Gerrard chants again, which I think is more, quite poignant thing, and probably, you know, a little bit more shocking to hear, because it's clearly laying our line in the sand. I don't knock anyone who feels the way they feel about it. I think that it's been very telling to me that the club and the people within the club, the players who speak out, the manager, have at no point said the fans are in the wrong. I think they're also understanding the volatile nature of this situation, because in the past, again, I wasn't alive for it, but I know people who were. They've told me about it. When McManaman got booed because it was against Coventry, and it was like a couple of days, it was like a game or two after he'd announced it, and he got booed. And after the game, Houllier went out into his press conference and asked the fans to stop booing because they don't understand the situation. This time, the fans aren't being told to, you know, stop booing. They're being told, the players are saying, look, it's sad to see our mate get booed, but at no point is anyone made out from within the club. I'm not including fucking Piers Morgan or Rio Ferdinand here. Mm-hmm. No one from associated to or within the club is made out that we're in the wrong here. So that to me is a little bit more telling. That
I think in the wrong when we're speaking about it, it's not that someone's necessarily. I don't think that I think the club have understood the situation, and I think they've been very well versed. Like Robbo went into that interview knowing how he was going to answer that question. He knew. It wasn't off the cuff, spontaneous. He just found out and had to go and voice his opinions. I think this is something that, you know, you have to be careful considering with Liverpool fans in general, because as we've spoken about, we are very emotional when it comes to Liverpool. It is
it swings in both ways. If you're on our side, you will get backing like you've never seen before. I mean, fucking hell, Nunes has been shit for 3 years, and I hear his name sung more than anyone. But if you then turn against it, it becomes very hostile and very volatile.
What I find interesting, though, is that even with the Nunes situation, for me, which is more telling, right, is he got a bit of abuse online or whatever from rival fans, and he deleted all his Liverpool posts. For me, looking at that as a fan, I look at that and I'm like, that for me is, you're telling you don't want to be a part of us more, like, because you're out there, you're publicly going and saying, it's not like, oh, I want to move and I want to do this. You're telling, whatever, Liverpool fans, and I'm deleting. It's very kind of petulant and childish. Liverpool fans never did anything about that. We never booed him about that. He came into the ground and we still went and supported him. And I think that's where, again, because he's a local lad, I can understand where...
Trent's held to a higher standard in the same way Curtis Jones will be held to a higher standard, and any Scouser before or after was held to a higher standard, especially one who, for so many years, parades the fact that their Scousers their biggest thing and the fact that they want to stay at the club forever. And then to see the way he's handled the situation, because for once, even though... you know, I'm FSG out and I disagree with the way they've handled a number of things, I don't necessarily think they could have done much more with this Trent Alexander-Arnold situation. The club couldn't... There comes a point in the time with the club where everything needs to pause whilst they fix the problems. We had major problems upstairs in this football club at the start of last season. We had a fucking director of football in place because he was Jurgen's mate and he was apparently a good laugh on a night out, who never actually came into the country, just done all his negotiations from a phone in Ibiza. The ownership were thinking about selling. The manager was going. We were a complete mess upstairs. We were in no situation to be handing out new deals. The moment we got an element of structure back, the moment Hughes came in, the moment Edwards came in, they came in the start of April. Mid-April, an offer was put toward Trent. 14 months before his contract expired. I don't think there's much more we could have done beyond offering him a new deal a year after he'd signed his last one type thing. I think we've done everything we can. And that, to me, is why I don't have the same anger. So I'll put it this way. If Mohamed Salah had been left on a free, if Mohamed Salah was in the same situation as Trent, had no contract, it was confirmed that he was going to go. But Salah, you know, everything that happened this season with Salah wanting to stay happened. My anger would be fully at the football club. I think that would be the first time.
And Jerry, you know, I don't know what. That's why I mentioned the Van Dijk and Salah thing. I'll give you a scenario right now. We guys, we all know each other. If Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent all left, the whole discourse would be FSG.
It would.
It would. Everyone, let's just be honest here. If all three of them left, we would be talking about the ownership. We'd be talking about the lack of ambition. We'd be talking about all that shit. Not as and can I say something? I don't even think Trent would be booed. As crazy as it sounds, Tom, you're saying that, but I promise you, if the other three left, I think the fans would be so... Tom, hear me out. The fans would be so focused. First of all, you're on mute. We can't hear you. The fans would be so
the context
focused.
of it, though.
Hear me out. I think the fans would be so focused on like hounding FSG out and cooking like the owners and booing the owners that they would genuinely, I don't think they would boo Trent. Because the focus would all be on the ownership. How dare you allow Van Dijk and Salah, who want to stay, to leave?
I've got a feeling there would be, but I do think there would be a part, I don't know percentage-wise what it would be, but I think each and every single one of them would have been booed. Reason being,
Salah and Van Dijk wouldn't have been booed.
If they offered them a contract and we found that they declined the contract, right? And you heard it was 300 and these were the rumors and whatever, and they got what they got right now and they declined it. I think if they played, I think they would be booed as well, because I think I think Trent is held to a higher standard, 100%. But I think I think he'd be booed more than anyone, 100%. I think they would as well, because Liverpool fans would look at it the same way. We made you what you are. We've given you the contract. You've declined it. How can you leave?
I disagree.
I'm a Scouser on that.
Basis
I agree with Don. I reckon FSG would have had to.
If we got to that situation, it would have been the first time you've ever heard FSG out chants in the ground. I don't know how loud it would have been, but you would have heard an element of FSG out in the ground.
You're right.
But when it comes down to looking at the individual players, what you can't take away in this situation is the context. Van Dijk and Salah, multiple times this season, have come out and said they wanted to stay. Have come out and said that they want to remain at Liverpool, that they're at home at Liverpool, yada, yada, yada. That would not be lost from the fans. The difference is Alexander-Arnold has said fuck all this season, which to everyone else is an admission of I don't want to stay. Because if you wanted to stay, you'd say it. To everyone else, it's a case of silence is you don't want to stay. Therefore, if you don't want to stay, it's your choice. We could have offered you 400 grand a week. You didn't want to stay. Therefore, the anger is directed at you. If it was Salah and Van Dijk, because they've said they wanted to stay, because also they're not scouts and they're not held to them high standards that Alexander-Arnold is held up to, rightly or wrongly, that is how it is. Because they're not held to them standards, the anger would have been directed towards the ownership. But in Trent's situation, because he had not said he wanted to stay, and it is believed that he led the club on in negotiations in order to manufacture a move. Some people say a year, some people say 2, some people say 4, whatever it is. But the belief is that Trent Alexander-Arnold used his football club to get a deal at Real Madrid. The anger is directed towards him. You still would have seen the FSG anger, but it would not have been, we are angry at you because you didn't sort Trent's out.
Tom, you're so full of it and you know it. Tom, you know that like die-hard FSG inners, like toppest of the toppest threads, said if Van Dijk and Salah leave the club, we will have a conversation about the ownership. If all three left,
I'm one of them.
Trent would, exactly. That's what you said yourself.
If
If Trent left with the other two, all focus would be on ownership. Lack of ambition, we don't want to go forward, blah, blah, blah.
It wouldn't though, Hassan, because Trent would still get it, because Trent was the only one who said he didn't want to stay. So if we were in a situation, let's say, in this hypothetical scenario...
Tom, I agree with you a lot of stuff, mate. I'm a scouser. I agree with you a lot of stuff. But it would have ended up as just a massive FSG hashtag out. Hater. It really would have, mate.
That's fine.
But it would have escalated from one player to another.
Got shit, though.
Do you think maybe Virgil and Salah wouldn't get it because they're not in their quote-unquote peaks? So if this was Salah at 26, 27, right, and he had gone and left, would he get booed? Maybe. Virgil van Dijk, maybe. I think at the stage of the career that they're at, I don't think... And thinking about it now, I don't think there would be an animosity to them, because you'd look at it and be like, well, that tail end of their career, some fans understand the FSG situation. You might have a gripe with them. You might have an FSG hashtag out, but you wouldn't really be upset because it's like, oh, you know what, cool. Whereas because Trent, again, we're annoyed that Trent is leaving, or I assume, not only because he's Scouse, it's because he's good and we want him to stay. If Curtis Jones, or when Flanagan left, or Curtis Jones, or someone else that was a local lad but wasn't good left, we wouldn't give a toss. We wouldn't give a toss if they went and engineered the move, or however you want to go and call it. The problem is that I think a lot of fans wanted Trent to be Gerrard 2.0 with regards to staying at the club and being a one-club man forever. I know we spoke about that before, and I think that's where a lot of fans feel emotional about it, hence why they're frustrated. I don't personally.
I don't think
it's also what Trent said. Like what Trent said over the years is also what disappoints us. I'm more disappointed than anything else, if I'm honest. You've got a guy that basically says it means more, yeah, and he actually had a dig at Manchester City because of it, like, and that was only last year, by the way. And then you've also got a guy who's going on interviews saying that his dream is to be the captain of Liverpool, like. And then he's just 360ing. He's just 360. Like, and it's either he's 360'd or he's just told us a load of lies. Like, and the money's persuaded him, and his mates persuaded him.
Me personally, I think it's just been a 360. And ultimately, it's a thing where if you asked him at the time, it's like, yeah, that's what you wanted. But with the culmination of, I think even within himself, discussion about his defending, right? There's talk that you go on socials, Bradley should start ahead of him. Maybe Trent doesn't need to play. We don't need Trent. Trent's a liability. That whole narrative, right, that is surrounding Trent, alongside the fact that Jurgen Klopp left, his role, obviously his importance within the team has probably diminished from what it was under Klopp, because Klopp looked at him like the centerpiece of creation. Slot doesn't in the same way. So again, I think all these things contribute to why someone would want to go and obviously go. And probably at the same time as well, it's like he's waiting for Trent and for Virgil and Salah to sign their deal, potentially. You could argue, right? You only want to stay with the best players. They leave it to the last minute. You've already had to make your decision, isn't it? At a certain point.
He's still not signed for Real Madrid, by the way.
No, unfortunately, no. If there's the one club that's in for you, it's Real Madrid, isn't it? He's not going United. He's not going Newcastle. He's not getting Milan. That'd be why are you going there? Cool, he's going to Madrid. I'm frustrated about it. It's annoying. I want Trent to be at the club, right? But it's like the animosity and the anger, we don't need to have that anger, because in previous years, like when Suarez left, we were left with crap. It was shit. That was it. There was nothing left. When Coutinho left, I was looking like, oh my God, like what's going on here? Like he was the best player in the team. Now he's left.
The Coutinho one pissed me off.
I mean, no,
he really pissed me off.
When Torres left, I was like, yeah, I know we've got this guy called Suarez and Carroll, but this is Torres. Like when that hurt more.
That annoyed me as well.
Now Trent leaving, I'm not even pissed. I'm like, all right, cool, but Liverpool are still going to do well. Like if anything, it's just like, yeah, whatever, cool. Like it's not as it doesn't hinder Liverpool in the same way. And I'd understand it potentially from my perspective more if Liverpool were down in the dumps and you're losing one of your best players. That hurts, because it's like, this is the only player that we've got to kind of celebrate. Imagine Gerrard leaving after the Champions League. I mean, that's like, what on earth is this? If Gerrard left, but Liverpool had won the league and were winning the league, and I'd be like, yeah, cool. Like, I don't care if you're like me personally. I don't care if the player's a Scouser or not. I care about, for me, it's the family that, I mean, is the family that you have is the family that, you choose, not the family that you're just given. Yeah, he's in the team, but Virgil van Dijk, you've got Virgil, look at Salah, look at all these players that have been at the club for so long. Robbo's not a Scouser, but he might as well be for the passion and the energy he's put into the club. Like, that's the way I look at it. So to be honest, I want Trent to stay, but I couldn't care less because Liverpool are going to be fine. So
and speaking of, I do want to talk about the future of Liverpool after Trent leaves and stuff like that, because I think it's important to address it. First of all, big up everyone locked in. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. Let me just grab a couple of these super chats and then we move on to speak about the topic. Because guess what? Just like Liverpool Football Club, Salah is more scoused than Trent. I'm more scoused than Tom. Big up everyone locked in, guys. Like and subscribe, please. Big up to Redline Taranga, who says, Sesko, nerds ain't nerding. Sack him if it happens. Oh, we'll be talking about Sesko, I promise you. Just wait and see. Big up to MKMUS, who says, Kyle Walker, Mr. Two Secret Families, is preaching about loyalty to Liverpool fans about Trent. Sick and tired of them telling us how to feel. Also, guys, I would just advise you search up what Rio Ferdinand did.
That guy.
Yeah. What Rio Ferdinand did to his wife.
Absolutely.
When she was going through certain situations. You get me? So, that's the guy speaking about loyalty. And that's the guy speaking about not appreciating someone.
Yeah, but I think Jamie wants to get on. You best move on from the Rio Ferdinand bit before you get him on.
No, but the thing is, let's not be that the types of people though that are like trying to justify if we think something's wrong or not by saying, but they did it though. Like, I don't give a toss about what Rio's done.
No, that's not what I'm saying. If you cheated on your wife with cancer, then I'm not gonna take what you say.
I'm not gonna throw that up because someone could do something mad. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, you done that, cool. But ultimately, I still agree with what you're saying, innit? Like, yeah.
But how can he tell me about loyalty when he did that?
Hang on a minute. What did Rio Ferdinand do? He moved from Leeds to Manchester United. They're bitter rivals.
No, you can argue the hypocrisy's mad, right? But what I'm saying is, within ourselves, we can still be like, yeah, what he did is fucked, but cool. Like, do you know what I mean? Like if he turned around and said, oh yeah, you shouldn't cheat on your missus because like, yeah, I know you cheated on your missus, but you're right, you shouldn't cheat on your missus. I'm not going to be like, yeah, but you said this. It's like, who cares? Like, do you know what I mean? How about own moral compass and forget what everyone else is saying?
Okay. Fair. But he could still hold that. Big up to Whale, who says, you have a right to feel, I think it's Wally, not Whale. You have a right to feel however you feel. You don't have a right to be a dickhead. These same fans are the first to call online overseas fans toxic. Tom, would you like to respond to that?
No, because I'll say something he won't like.
Say it, Hadi.
No, because I don't want to be misconstrued. I don't think anyone who booed him was a dickhead.
No.
I have every right to boo him. I don't think it's a dickhead thing to be booing someone and to call it and to say that you're a dickhead for doing so. I think is wrong.
Okay.
If you pay a ticket fee, you're entitled to do what you want, like with your voice.
Some of these lot spend thousands, tens of thousands of pounds a year.
Man, because where do you draw the line in it? Like you bought your ticket so you can do X.
No, because Jerry, we're not in a situation.
No,
because this is not a normal thing. This is not a normal thing. We're not saying this to where it's a. Oh, you know what we should do next game? If Nunes was the chance, let's just fucking boom. No, it's not the case. Trent Alexander-Arnold, this is not something that we're going to be doing every week. This is something that we have done once in 20 years. And the last time we done it was for a player who've done the same thing.
Let's say Trent plays the next game. Do you think they boo him again?
Yeah.
There'll be boos, but they won't be as bad as this one.
In the parade, right? Or when he lifts the trophy, right? Is there boos?
You might not hear it, but people will boo Trent.
They won't, at the parade, I doubt there will be, because I think it can get lost amongst it. And
even trophy lifts, you go out, everyone goes, hey, walk around the pitch. When you get through them, because this is my point, is when we speak about like people pay their money and you can do whatever you want, is it becomes a fine line, because it starts with booing, then it starts with being like you're an F in this, then it's that, and then we know it always crosses over. There's always a line that someone just takes it too far. So my point is, right, we just we can ignore that. Like, there's so many things to be happy about when it comes to Liverpool. Why are we even discussing this? This is like, that's the way I'm feeling about it. Is where it is. Like, we're not. Are you afraid that Liverpool aren't going to be successful after Trent, Tom? I know you're not. You're thinking.
No, but I also feel like that then just that the fans have every right to sit there and be angry at someone who has led the club on for 12 months. I feel like what's getting lost here is that they're not. I'm not. We're all not. We're not. I'm not an Alexander-Arnold fan. I'm not a Mohamed Salah fan. I'm not a Van Dijk fan. I'm not a fucking whoever fan. I'm a Liverpool fan. I want what is best for. I want what's best for the football club. I want to defend my football club, and I feel like that man has slighted my football club. So I'm going to boom. Now, if someone steps over the line, obviously that's not that's wrong. If someone takes it too far, it's 100% wrong, and I'm not justifying that. But I also feel like booing someone and singing someone else's chants and all that. That's how the fans can get their message. That's the only way the fans can get their message across.
But
there's an element. Sorry, Jerry, 2 seconds, mate. There's an element of he acts surprised, like that this is going to happen. Like, what the hell did you think was going to happen?
True. You can't accept.
Like all the crap you said, because I think it's crap, by the way. Like, and that's disappointed me, by the way. But all the stuff you said about being a fan, it means more. You want to be the captain, all of this stuff, and then leaving on a free transfer when we've just won the league, like, and then all the other stuff coming out, like, well, we're not going to be competitive, and Real Madrid is a dream club, and all of this stuff. Like, it just makes everything feel. I don't know. It just feels like
he's not done himself any favours the way he's handled the last year.
When he should have just come out and said, "Look, guys, Jurgen Klopp's leaving, and I'm going to go to Real Madrid," and we'd have all accepted it.
No, the thing is,
that's real. We would have accepted it.
No, but Kmack, this is why I disagree. Right? I don't think there's any way in which Trent could have operated that would have helped the situation. He could have signed an extension, and Liverpool got 80 million for him. Right? We'd still get booed. Ultimately,
no, we wouldn't have.
I don't think it's the fact that he's leaving on a free. I think it's the fact that he's a scouser leaving the team. Gerrard was getting booed.
It's all the stuff that's happened, Jerry. It's all the things that happened on the way.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying he'd still get booed. I'm saying I saw Gerrard get booed because Chelsea offered some money for him and there was interest that he was going to go. It was never going to go on a free. Ultimately, he's a scouser in the team that represents the way the fans view it. He represents the people of the city.
We're about to get cancelled, chat.
I think it all affects us differently as well, though, by the way. We've moved on from Ferdinand now, so we're safe.
Yeah.
I feel like if Trent had left for a fee, there's two things that would have happened. A, there would not have been the chance, because to leave on a fee, unless he'd left mid-season, like, if we were going to get money for him, he goes straight away. So there wouldn't have been these games, or there wouldn't have been this whole media circus for 5 months of will he, won't he? It would have just been offered in, accepted, he's gone, done. Don't have to see him again. And also, the level of boos and the level of anger would not be as high because it is less disrespectful to the football club if you bring them money back after all these years. That's what I think. When people are saying, "Oh, it's angry at Trent because the anger is because it is a feeling that he has disrespected the football club, and as a Liverpool fan, I'm against the person who disrespects my football club. So if I feel he's disrespected the football club, I'm against him.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, ultimately, I don't see a situation, Tom, and this is me being honest, where Trent leaves for 80 million and you're not on the stream going, he's a this, he's a that, he's leaving. How can he leave? Going to Real Madrid. I can't see. I don't think.
I'd be disappointed that he left. I'd be disappointed. I've never said I wouldn't be. I think what gets lost here is I would not be sitting there if we got 80 million quid going, oh, how wonderful. Go and see the world, Trent. Go and live life. Go and live in Madrid. Give Jude my well wishes. No, I'd still be disappointed. But the level of anger and the level of vitriol would not be the same. I promise you that.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
Jerry, there's also an element of the club would have been blamed for that as well, not Trent.
Yeah, but that's my point. There would be, innit? There will be some people that are like, oh, he's done this, and yeah, who cares? Ultimately, the way I look at it, right? Liverpool, like, whether it's not like we're not a Brighton where we're like, oh my God, we need that money because otherwise we can't strengthen the team. Liverpool have got the money, right? We've got the players. Whether he leaves on a free or leaves for money, I don't think it makes a difference. I'd still feel exactly the same way in terms of I'll be upset that a player, in my opinion, of the level of Trent is leaving Liverpool. That's where the line ends. If he goes and leaves, I don't care. When it comes to pertaining to the booing, the problem I have with the booing is you can go and sing chants about it. You can do this. You can boo him when his name's read off the tannoids at the beginning of the game, but not when we're playing the game because it affects not only Trent, it affects everyone on the pitch. Ultimately, the team's they're booing.
I do wonder how different it would have been if we were still fighting for a title. If the season wasn't done and dusted at this point, because if it wasn't done and dusted, he wouldn't have announced it. It's only come because he's announced
100%,
it.
Because he's announced it 100%.
It was always going to happen after he announced it. If he'd announced if we were only 2 points ahead with 3 games to go and it was a title decider and Trent announced it before the game, and you know what, there probably would have been an initial booing of him. And in the moment we see other players getting affected by it, it stops because I can put aside a grudge and I can put aside anger so Liverpool can win. But right now, these games are utterly meaningless. My team are in fucking Dubai. Fucking Alisson Becker's eyeing up a kebab with fucking eyes of a dog that has a net for 2 weeks on a fucking boat. Like, they do not give a shit at this point about the season. Their job is done. So these games...
Only slots in Ocean Beach in Ibiza.
But
he's getting fucking snogged up by Wayne Lineker. Like, it's irrelevant at this point. So all our anger can be directed towards that because it's not going to affect anything about our season. If we have a Champions final in 3 weeks' time, I don't think you'd see the reaction that you're seeing now. Right. Because again, it comes down to the fact that he's announced it. And the one thing that I will say, and it pains me to give him any credit about the way he's handled the situation, at least he hasn't done the selfish thing and announced it before the season's done. In terms of, like, at least he has announced it when we still got stuff to play for. If we were in the Champions League, I doubt he would have announced it. If we were in a title race, he wouldn't have announced it, which is the only right thing that he's done so far in this entire scenario. But because he's announced it, because it's confirmed, that's where the anger comes from. We've all known, let's be honest, we're not all dickheads, and people who go to the game aren't dickheads. We all knew since about February that he was gone. But yet our fans still chanted his name for 3 months and still sung his song for 3 months because it wasn't confirmed. The moment it's confirmed, the moment you set your line in the sand, you invite the reaction. But whilst we could still have, what's it called, justification, or like, I'm going to use the wrong term here, we could delude ourselves into believing that he might stay, he got the full support. The moment you make it clear you don't want to be here, you are effectively no longer one of our players. And at that point, you know, what can
What
we
was
do?
all this
And I
about
do
then,
also
Tom?
think.
Tom,
I do also.
Tom, what was all this about? And
I don't know.
like, what was the point in doing any of that? That feels like it's stringing the fans along as well.
It also didn't help. It also didn't help that the next game after that was the fucking United game where he was so horrendously bad.
Oh, he was shit in that game.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me just go ahead, Jim. You want to say something? Go on.
I just feel like every action has a reaction, don't it? So Trent's action was that he wants to leave his boyhood club at the first opportunity that he had available to him. Liverpool fans' reaction to that is to let him know how they feel personally, and that was by booing him at the first opportunity they had. Now, you know, people will make of it what they make of it. You know, you've heard rival fans say their things, which is very hypocritical, especially from Arsenal fans who actually handed out their greatest ever football manager.
Crazy. Made one of their players cry, Jamie.
Yeah, but reactions happen in football. Yeah, Liverpool fans absolutely love Trent Alexander-Arnold because he's one of us, and he's from the city. He plays for the team. He goes on telly multiple times, tells the world how much he loves his football club. He never wants to leave his football club. The first opportunity that was available to him to leave the football club, he took it. So the reaction to that is fans going to the stadium, going to the game, and letting him know how they personally feel. Now, as I don't see anything wrong with that. Football, you pay your money, you pay your price, you go and do your thing. It's up to you. Booing him after every time he touches the ball, maybe that's a bit too much. I don't know. But fans have the right to tell players how they feel about the situation that's going on right now. I just think it's a PR disaster. Trent should have come out with this video on the 27th of May after everything is finished to tell the club that he's leaving, tell everyone he's leaving. And I think it's just a PR disaster. I know the title's already won. We've got nothing else to play for. So I thought it'd be perfectly fine to bring that video out. But when you've got 3 games to go and a title lift to go and a parade to do, you're giving yourself, you know, Trent knows the people as well. He's given himself the opportunity to get booed at when he didn't need to get that opportunity. He could have just chilled for the 3 games, played his part, had the parade, and then on the 27th of May could have done the video and he would have been off and that would have been done. But yeah, it's just I don't think there needs to be any infighting about this. I don't think there's any right or wrong. You know, none of us are robots. We've all got emotions. Some people's emotions are different to other people's emotions. And that's football, you know. That's why I love this game, because it's an emotional sport. We're an emotional club. We're emotional fans. And everyone's going to look at things differently.
Jamie's been watching what I'm saying, because that's exactly what I said to Igal as well. Igal, oh my God, that's so disrespectful. It is what it is. He was crying about this. He's been crying about this for the last, 48 hours, bro.
But why? It's a bit of fun. It's a laugh.
Yeah, but he's been crying about it. I cooked his ass, though.
Just on the Arteta thing, Arsenal fans making it about Liverpool hate Arsenal, whatever. It's a very baseline level of Mikel Arteta was a former Everton player. It's actually really funny to laugh at former Everton players when they come back to Anfield and they're not doing well. If Mikel Arteta was the Man United manager or the Chelsea manager or the City manager, he would still be getting that flame the way he has been. Let's not forget that Everton this season used him as the face for their programme cover for our Merseyside derby. To just remind everyone that used to play for them. Do I think there's an element of, oh yeah, Arsenal finished second behind us, haha, funny? Yes. But also, it's Mikel Arteta. He used to play for Everton, I want to laugh at them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I do think, bro, it's just based off of the stuff. It's just based off of the stuff that, all the Arsenal fans have said. It is what it is. I actually think as a fan base, home and away, international have handled this incredibly better than 99% of the others would. We booed a Madrid player, is what Jack is saying. Yeah, I don't think the fan base handled it that badly, to be honest with you. It's really not that deep. Big up to Skow's justice for the 97. Rivals have slated Trent for years just for them to start sucking him off. Now he's leaving. Watch the 180 they do next season, the firm of bandwagon. By the way, they were already doing it.
Yeah.
They're already doing it. Oh, he's the best right back in Premier League history, blah, blah, blah. Like, everything that we fucking said for the last 2 years, they're saying now, bro. The jokes write themselves. I haven't seen Trent can't defend for the last year. Literally, since the season started. I've noticed as well, rivals took advantage of that altogether. Diggs, we all know what a dog whistle is. Classless fans, no class. It's crazy. Yeah, exactly. Listen, Liverpool are a classy institution. Liverpool fans are classy fans. With all due respect, okay? When Ronaldo had that situation, he was a Man United player at the time, and the Liverpool fans uploaded him and sang You'll Never Walk Alone for Cristiano Ronaldo, who scored goals against Liverpool, who played for our biggest rival. So no one can give me class lessons, okay?
Did you see the tears that are rolling down his eyes when that happened, and the great gratitude he felt by it as well?
Yeah, exactly. Like this whole, you're not going to play class games with me, to be honest with you. If Bellingham had agreed to join us 2 years ago instead of going to Real Madrid, Trent would be staying, in my opinion. Hey, his bestie would have been playing for Liverpool, you know?
Are we reversing that to FSG now?
If Bellingham joined us, guys, we wouldn't have...
You don't like Jude, Tom?
No, it's not a case of I don't like Jude. It's a case of if we'd have signed Bellingham, we wouldn't have signed any of the other midfielders, and we'd be fucked because we need all of them. Bellingham would have cost us, 120? We spent 120 on Maka and Sobo, and I think we spent 130 on Maka, Sobo, and Grav. So 120 on one guy, we would have been left with Endo. As much as I love Endo and his little mouth.
I think we'd have got McAllister and then just not got Grav or Sobo personally.
Yeah, but then we'd still be fucked.
Nah, man, I don't think so. Wow. Hindsight, innit? Hindsight.
We might not have got Cody.
Huh?
Because before.
Cody happened beforehand, didn't he?
Yeah.
To be fair, what would have happened if we signed Jude is we wouldn't have Jamie and Andre telling us that the number 10 works hard. Big up to you, Aaron.
Yeah.
Big up to Gregory.
Jude would be doing the Szoboszlai role. That's what.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Right there.
Jude would be scoring goals, mate.
I don't know.
Big up to Gregory says, for us who saw Torres leave and have our hearts broken, Trent leaves nothing. Oh, Torres is way fucking worse. Torres is way worse, bro. With all due respect, you joined Chelsea mid-season. I don't give a shit. That's why me and Tom have been arguing about this snake thing. Because for me, Torres is a bigger snake on your arm. You went to Chelsea, mate. You're a bigger snake. McGregor says, Jerry wound me up 2 weeks ago. Still pissed with Trent, but we can see his point of view. Big up, Jerry. Ever thought about relationship counseling? What does the relationship counseling have to do with any of this, bro? This conversation is just a football conversation. We can agree, we can disagree. Like I said, me personally, I'm not even angry or happy. I'm just upset. I'm just fucking sad, bro. Like, we don't have to have... And by the way, Jerry's the same thing. He said he's gutted we're losing a world-class player. Like, just because he's saying, maybe the boos are a bit too harsh, don't mean nothing, bro, you guys. Come on, don't overdo it. Big up to Mina, who says, rate the rat. Owen, Coutinho, Trent, Torres, Luis Suarez. I'll rate them. I'll say Owen first, by far. Cardinalson, worst thing. Torres second. You went to Chelsea. Third, Coutinho. Fourth, Trent. Fifth, Luis Suarez.
What?
I don't think Luis Suarez is a
Why
snake.
Luis Suarez a rat?
Yeah.
I mean, we do. I do feel like he gets lost on people that Luis Suarez bitter man, so we couldn't get his full value.
He didn't do that. He didn't do that preemptively, thinking,
come
on, man. That was spur of the moment. That was spur of the moment.
Do you know why I don't believe that, though, Jay? Do you know why I don't believe that, Jerry? You know why I don't believe that? Why the fuck did he all of a sudden forget how to bite people for the 8 years he was at Barcelona, a club that he wanted to be at?
It was in his contract.
But then he didn't bite anyone at Atletico Madrid either.
No bite policy. If he went for 80 million, what if FSG don't spend it? Yeah, this is true as well. If he went for 80 million, doesn't mean we're going to pocket all that money and spend every single cent of it. Trent is a rat. He said F all. He knew all along what he was doing. Then he says Arsenal have won fuck all, irrelevant club. I do agree. I think Arsenal fans have been just pathetic for this last 24 hours.
True, did he bit more than 3 players, by the way? Like, he bit more than 3 players.
Guys, speaking of pathetic, we have 1,100 people in here and we're only at 300 likes. It's a horrible ratio. You guys are all worse than Sesko. Imagine, we're going to talk about him next. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel.
Positive for Sam. Can we not do Frimpong first?
Yeah, we will.
A bit of happiness.
Tom, can you let me run the fucking show?
Sesko.
Just because you've done 3 live streams in a week, I'm doing this. I do 3 live streams in a day. Just chill out. Anyway, big up to everyone locked in. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel if you're ready to do so. Everyone, please hit the like button. Everyone, please subscribe. So this is the transfer section of the day where we're going to be talking about transfers, you know, all these type of Liverpool-related subjects just with going forward this summer. Guys, please hit the like button, subscribe now. Let's just push 500 likes. Let's just meet me at halfway line, you know, 50%. So, I want to start off by Frimpong. Mr. Jamie Phillips, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, my brother, your thoughts on the Frimpong thing.
I think this is a tremendous bit of business. And I think Frimpong will absolutely be...
He said ping pong.
Yeah, because that's what everyone calls him. I think he'll be tremendous for Liverpool and under Arne Slot and what he wants him to do at right back. I think he's going to be out of this world. We lack so much pace in our team from wide positions, and everyone keeps thinking it's the wide players that we're going to change for pace. It looks like it's going to be the full-back areas. That's where he wants to get the pace from. Frimpong's also, you know, he's got a good eye for goal as well. He can dribble, he can take players on. He's actually got a good cross on him. I know everyone might forget, but it was offside, but he did score a very good goal against us in the Champions League. He's a talented player.
To be fair, he wasn't done for handball. He wasn't done for offside.
It was handball, wasn't it? Yeah.
Handball.
He's a very, very good player. But what we do far too much as a fan base, we always look at people's negatives instead of the positives all the time. Negative this, negative that, negative that. Look at the positives, man. There's a reason we're going to go and get him. And, you know, you look at right backs that are attainable. Would I prefer a Kmack? Yeah, of course I would. Who wouldn't? Yeah, but
he's unattainable.
But he's unattainable, exactly. Yeah. So you got to look at.
He's literally PSG captain, by the way, like actual captain.
You got to look at what's attainable and what's available in the market. And Frimpong, for a 24-year-old league winner, you know, international footballer who can play on that whole right-hand side, by the way, brings us to something different on that right-hand side that we've lacked for quite a few years now. And I know people go say defending this, defending that. Look, if everyone wants proper defensive fullbacks, then Liverpool go to play low block football, and that's that. No, Liverpool are not going to play. Liverpool want to play front-footed, attack-minded football.
Yeah, exactly.
If you look at all the best fullbacks, they're more renowned for their attacking than they are their defending. Yeah, you could go and get Wan-Bissaka. Let's go and get Wan-Bissaka and put him at right back. Yeah, we'll get nothing going forward. Yeah, but we might actually concede the same amount of goals we would if we had an attacking fullback. So
because he wouldn't destroy your opposition.
Exactly. So I think the Frimpong signing for like 35 million euros with what the ability he's got and the pace he's got, he can get up and down. He's got great recovery pace as well. Is obviously next season Arne Slot wants to push higher up the pitch, get more possession in the other opposition's half, but he couldn't do it this season because on transition, when we lose the ball, we got fullbacks that are not quick enough going backwards, or in Trent's case, can't be bothered. Robbo hasn't got the pace to go up and down like he used to do. I think this is a good bit of business to Sam. I really do, for the money we're going to pay for him and what's available in the market right now. And it shows Liverpool acting very quickly. Apparently they've been talking for him 6 weeks now. I've been reading today. So basically since they heard that Trent was leaving in March, they've got on the phone to him, getting this sorted, which I like. It means they're ahead of the curve. It means they're not waiting around. They're not, you know, they're getting the job done. So, yeah, big up to them if this is all done.
This is just like McAllister. Like, this is just a great bit of business that we've got ahead of everybody else. Also, I told everyone that we were speaking to him a couple of weeks ago. Slot's got a great relationship with him. You've got a number of other players in the team, which he knows, as in Virgil and Cody and Gravenberch. So there's a really good player to get into the dressing room. And look, the guy's got all the tools in the box. Like, he's fast, he's skillful, he can dribble. He got 17 GA this season. He got 26 GA last season. Like, he's just a really good player. And he's also at that age where he's just turned 24. So he's hitting the straps where he's going to be a regular international. And I can just see his numbers increasing. And what we've cried out for is we've cried out for a guy to overlap Salah. and to run past him and to make the space for Salah to then go into the hot zone 14, and he'll get more goals. I know he's got an unbelievable amount of goals anyway, but he'll get more goals. Yeah, I know I said it, Tom. And also, like I said on Jamie's show yesterday, how many times have we seen the ball come right across the box and the other guy on the right-hand side or the left-hand side was not stood there to tap into an open net? He'll be there. He's been doing it regularly for Bayern, and I just think this is just a really, really good bit of business. And it's just typical Edwards. Get a guy, nice and cheap, pay in installments, done and dusted before anyone even
On to the next.
He's available. Done.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Thomas? Why are you guys? Can we not do this whole being quiet till I say your name?
No,
Talk, Tom.
I was letting everyone else say the bit, and I'm trying to read
Yeah,
this
can we
thing
start
on
with
Huijsen.
Frimpong? Can we start with Frimpong?
I'm trying to read this news that's just dropped on Huijsen.
Doing zone 14. Anyway,
He's going to Real Madrid.
Apparently, Real Madrid stepped up their thing. Anyway,
Madrid, mate.
Frimpong, I said it last week, and I feel more and more vindicated with every passing day and with every passing news story. Arne Slot has taken an awful lot of inspiration from elements of PSG. I think because of how they played against us and the fact that we got dominated so heavily by them, I think he's looked at that, what they did so well. How can we adapt that to us? Not all of it, but I think he's looking at that and going, well, the way they use their fullbacks in Nuno Mendes and Hakimi kills teams. It killed Arsenal. It killed us. It killed Aston Villa. So if we can start using our fullbacks in a similar method, then we can also start getting this advantage. Now, we're doing it in a different way. I don't know if you saw against Arsenal, we had, in build-up, we pushed both our fullbacks quite high up and have the two pivots sit in the fullback position almost. And that was our way of building up. If we're doing that, it makes sense to have two fullbacks that can be a real good attacking threat and have an engine to get back, which is what Frimpong and what Kerkez are. Frimpong is the more attack-minded one, so he's going to, which kind of makes sense, he's on the side of Mohamed Salah. I think ultimately what we are doing is trying to get as many threats around the box so we can put it into the box for one striker. So if you look at the way our wingers play, our wingers don't get to the byline. They cut inside and they cross or shoot from the edge of the box. Or they try and create from the edge of the box. Whereas what I think Arne Slot wants our fullbacks to do is get right down the line, get right to the byline with the pace and cut it back towards the penalty spot, whilst the wingers are putting crosses in towards the back post, which is why it kind of makes a bit of sense to me that I want a bagsman number 9, because if we're going to be creating chances at the level that we could be creating with Kerkez, Gakpo or Diaz, Salah, Frimpong or Bradley, if we're creating chances with all them players, you'll be creating so many a game. I can't have Nunes in the box for them. I cannot for my mental health, for my sanity, I cannot have Nunes be on the end of them.
We won't have Nunes, Tom. We'll have Sesko.
Yeah, that'd be even worse. But I quite like the notion of getting him in. There are the concerns about his defensive side of it. I do think that what will end up happening is Gravenberch will play as his third centre-back at points in build-up, potentially. So, that role he's done at points when we've lost certain players due to injury or due to whatever this season, and he's put Gravenberch as that centre-back. Big up, JJ. He's put Gravenberch at centre-back. I could see that happening again. I could see that happening again next season in order to make up for the fact that our fullbacks are going to be very high and, they might need a bit of time to get back and cover. But I'm all for it. I mean, if you even want to be even more cynical, it is a really interesting contract renewal technique for Canate. We'll threaten to sign Frimpong, which means your hamstrings will get battered even more. But if you sign a new deal, we'll get a proper defensive right back so you don't have to cover the channel as well, and you can extend your career for a little bit longer. Who knows? But I'm excited by it. I think it could be a really exciting signing. I'm sure it'll get a chorus of boos in the comments. It's actually a very good business thing as well, because to spread 35 million across 4 years comes out to what, like 8 or so million a year. we make that back more times than you can imagine. So I can see why the club are after it. I can see why he'd fit into Arnie's slot system.
We're also doing that with Kerkez as well, aren't we? So
Kerkez probably it needs to be bigger installment. Huijsen's the other one that you can pay in installments.
Yeah,
this isn't 3 installments.
We can pay him installments.
I don't know why you said we'll disagree, because I think Frimpong is a fantastic signing as well.
I thought you'd be. I
like attacking fullbacks. I love attacking fullbacks. Fuck all this defensive shit. I just don't like it at all, to be honest with you. I'd rather a fullback that, will cost me once every 5 games, but he will win me 4 out of 5 games. That's just the reality. Guys, if we lined up 100 managers in the world right now, 95% of them would choose the attacking fullback over the defensive one. Okay, this is not like 2002 anymore, where a right back has to be like Gary Neville, bro. Gary Neville would be like a 3rd centre back in today's era. It's just the reality situation. We need someone who's more offensive. Why is everyone saying Fabrizio Bomba? So if I go to Fabrizio and there's no Bomba, I'm banning everyone who says Fabrizio Bomba.
I think it's because of Huijsen, mate.
Let's go see. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano.
Real Madrid have Dean Huijsen, William Saliba, and Ibrahim Konate on their shortlist for a new centre back. Huijsen has a £50 million clause and he's keen on joining Real Madrid, waiting for the club to move while Chelsea and Liverpool keep pushing. Saliba, dream target for present/future, but currently considered too expensive. So it's actually nothing entirely new.
Yeah. We knew about Huijsen Madrid.
So everyone who said Fabrizio Bomba, get them out of here.
No. It is factually, they're not lying, so it is a Bomba.
It's not a Bomba though, is it?
Yeah, but he said something, innit?
It's like a water balloon. Someone just threw a Fabrizio water balloon at me, which just told me the same thing I've heard before.
I will throw a water balloon in your face, Sesko.
Yeah, that's not. I cannot. I've done 3 years of donkey project striker. 3 years of don't worry, he'll eventually kick the round thing in the net. I am not doing another 3 years with Slovenian version. Get me a number 9 who scores 25 plus goals a season. Get me a number 9 who is proven to perform in the big games. There is Osimhen, there is Alvarez, there is Gyökeres, there is Isak. I don't even like Ekitike. I would rather have Ekitike than Sesko. I would rather have the Sesko. If I had to draw up a short list of strikers, Benjamin Sesko wouldn't make it. And you know, Hassam, better than anyone, how deep in my bag I am with strikers. Evan Gwesson, I'd have before him.
No one even knows who that guy is.
Mohamed Amoura, I'd have above him. Jonathan David, who I think is incredibly shit, I would still have ahead of Benjamin Sesko because they are asking for £80 million for the Slovenian Darwin Núñez.
Do you know why I'd have ahead of him?
The same thing over and over again and expecting
do you know
to change.
Who I would have ahead of Sesko and Núñez? Jamie Vardy on a free transfer.
Same.
Prem proven.
Seriously. That's who I'd have ahead of those two.
I mean, there are so many strikers better than Sesko. If Sesko was 30 million quid, then you might be able to justify a gamble. But I'm being asked to pay elite striker money for someone who's got like 14 goals
in 30 games. For context, chat, Marmoush got 15 and 17. Guys, listen, here's the thing. We sit up here and here we go. See? It's already started. Guys, I'll be honest with you guys. Listen, I'm gonna just be honest. This is Darwin Núñez all over again. We have been punished and tortured for the last 3 years with that fucking Uruguayan twat up top. And the last thing I need now is another version of him. I do not need the Slovenian version of him. Unfortunately, the Sesko thing could be heating up a little bit. I know me and Tom speak to the same people almost, it seems like. But, I'm not trusting the nerds. I'm not trusting anyone. Sesko, you know what? I'm trusting my eyes. Every time I've watched Leipzig, he's been fucking awful. He's genuinely dog shit. He misses a shitload of chances. And I said this to Tom actually before the stream. The problem with Sesko is he doesn't have the football fundamentals. The first touch, the passing, the link-up play, the shit like that we always seem to forget to mention. Isn't that the same stuff that we've complained about Núñez for the last 3 years? Isn't that the same stuff that we've complained about multiple of these players? The problem is everyone's gonna sit up here and act like, oh, it's okay, and we have to back him because he's a Liverpool player and blah blah blah. I'll be honest, I'm taking, and Tom said it, and I said this to him like pre the stream started. I'm taking Ekitike over him. I'm taking everyone. Like, I'm literally taking everyone over Benjamin Sesko. Like, I'm taking everyone over Benjamin Sesko. I'm taking Delap over Sesko. I'm taking Mbeumo over
not having him
Sesko.
lie in the chat.
I'm taking Wisa over Sesko. I'm taking 100 different people. Don't let Ryan get to you. Unless Ryan sends a super chat, ignore.
The man has just sat there and told me Sesko was better than Alvarez.
Ignore. He's a fucking idiot. He told a woman she's 16 out of 10 live on stream.
Anyway,
exactly. So anyway, for me, I am taking literally anyone over Benjamin Sesko. I'm taking Delap. I'm taking everyone over Sesko. And the problem is, some people in the chat, and I know this is going to happen in the summer, and this is why it's funny because 3 years ago, the Hussam villain arc started with the Nunes signing because we were linked to two shit players, Nunes and Pulisic. Hussam called it out, and then, everyone started hating on me. Everyone became a villain in the Liverpool fan base and all that shit. And then
the stream was brilliant.
Yeah, and then the beef with Grizz thing happened. All of this happened just because I called out the fact that we wanted two shit players. And guess what? 3 years later, everyone's saying the same exact thing I'm saying. Sesko has no chance in hell of scoring 15 goals in the Premier League.
Do you know what I'd I'd rather buy Xavi Simons and play Xavi Simons as a false nine than
exactly. The guy has no football fundamentals. The guy has no football fundamentals. The guy has a shit first touch. He can't link up play. He misses a shitload of chances. And watching him is genuinely the exact same thing as watching Darwin Núñez. There is no difference. There is actually genuinely no difference between watching the other, like that guy right there. There are so many better options. I don't know if I speak for everyone in the panel, but I would literally rather pay 30 million for Delap. I'd rather pay 30 for Delap than 90 for Sesko. I really would.
I'd rather get Jonathan David for free.
We're still linked with Delap, by the way. We haven't followed that one.
I honestly think we get Ekitike. I think we get Ekitike. I just think we get him. It makes sense as well.
It's not dog shit, but it's not grease.
A lot of money.
This is the thing, yeah. Obviously, with the strikers right now, you got the elite category, and then you got everyone underneath it. Yeah. If you're not going to be able to get anyone on the elite category, which is a guarantee if they come to your club, you can sit back and chill. Everything underneath it for me is still a gamble. Ekitike, Delap, Osherman, they're all gambles.
Not a gamble. He's not a gamble.
Osherman can't be a gamble. This is a man who's won the Serie A Golden Boot. This is a man who's proven it in multiple games.
So's a little fake Argentinian about for Atlanta who's not.
Osherman scored more overhead kicks than Núñez has scored goals.
Tom, I watch the Italian weekend. I watch Italian football every week. It's part of my job. It is shit.
I like Retegui. I think Retegui's really good.
I think Ekitike, for the player that he is, the age that he is, the pace that he's got up top, the finishing that he's got, and I know a lot of people say he scores a lot of his goals on transition.
His finishing's not great, to be honest.
He scores a lot of his goals on transition. Well, guess what, guys? The Premier League is all about transition. So it's actually the right kind of player to buy.
Who?
The other, Ekitike.
Yeah, I don't mind them.
It's the right kind of player to buy because the Premier League is built on on transition. That's what it's built on. It's going to be a gamble whoever we get, but everyone's going to be better. Everyone's going to be better than what we got. So it's a win-win anyway. The Benjamin Sesko
literally the perfect thing, though, that Jamie. And I know that you've got your thing about him, but if Napoli want Núñez, just give them Núñez and we'll take Osimhen off their hands.
Yeah,
I spend no money.
The thing that makes it disappointing is there are so many strikers available.
He's not on crazy wages, mate.
He's on 250 grand a week.
Jamie, I'd give them 10, 15, 20 million to go alongside.
We offer an elite striker.
We ain't. Do you know why we're not paying Osimhen 250 grand a week?
We'd have to pay Isak that, or
no, Isak's only on 120 grand a we'd have to pay him big money.
200.
Isak's on 120 grand a week.
Yeah, but do you not think Isak's gonna ask?
Yeah, but Isak's going to want 180 to 200. Osimhen's going to want 250 to 300.
He's worth it.
That's why he's not left anywhere. That's why Liverpool are looking at Julian Alvarez, because Julian Alvarez is only on 130 grand a week. Ekitike is on 75 grand a week, I think.
Someone wrote Saul off.
The thing is,
Did
though,
he
the
play in the Premier
Osimhen
League?
deal makes too much sense. Even if you're paying him 250 grand a week, you're either paying 250 grand a week for a world-class striker, or you're paying 250 grand a week for a year or two until Saudi inevitably come back in for him.
How many goals?
How is the same person that wants us to sign Rodrigo 30 seconds ago defending the Sesko signing? Do you understand that if I took Rodrigo's left foot technique, it would equal the entirety of Sesko's body technique? Like, it's just his left foot alone is better than the entirety of Sesko. You cannot, guys, we cannot just defend signings blindly, with all due respect. We can have opinions. Like, even with the Frimpong thing, we're all pro Frimpong, but we can tell you he's going to get cooked defensively.
How old is Osimhen, by the way? How old is Osimhen?
26.
Just turned 26, by the way. Just
26 going on 27. So people think that we're going to give her almost 27.
No, he's just turned 26, Jamie.
Yeah, I know, but he's going to be 27. That's his next age. We're going to give him close to 300 grand a week. I don't think we are. I just don't think we are.
We offered Alexander Arnold 350 grand a week.
Yeah, players that were already at a club. This is what people don't
Thiago
understand.
Alcantara was 29 and got 220 grand a week offers.
He got 180 and then he got a pay up.
How did he get a pay up? He didn't get a new contract with us.
He got a bonus on top. His contract was 180.
Mo, can you find out Sesko's conversion rate?
But then again, Jamie, can't we do the same thing with Osimhen? Have a base wage of 200?
We're not buying Osimhen. We're not going to give Osimhen that money, man.
I'm not ruling him out.
We're also going to be getting
Osimhen. Fan of him when he was
at a really low cost, Jamie. So you've got to offset that as well to the wages.
Yeah, this is true, actually. Kmack brings up a good point. Yes, his wages might be high, but the cost is low.
What, 70 million for Osimhen?
Not if they take Nunes.
Napoli wants 70 million for Osimhen, yeah. And
no, they don't.
His release clause is like 60, I think, or 58.
50 million pounds.
Jamie, they don't like 50.
He's only got 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah, 50 million pounds. By the way, you get Osimhen.
Oh, go and get Osimhen then. You'll have the same trouble you had with Nunes. Trust me.
I will not.
What? He just won't.
No, we will not.
I have never.
No, we will not.
He's an absolute goal machine.
No way, bro.
I swear, people. I don't need to watch highlights. I watch football.
The guy is a monster. He's a monster.
Yeah, the guy's a monster, bro.
Oh, he's a monster in Turkey. Fuck me. Yeah.
No, he was a monster in Italy.
He was a monster in Italy because Kvaratskhelia set him up every single
he won
goal.
the Champions League with him.
Yes,
we've got Mo Salah.
He's got Mo Salah now.
Yeah. I don't think you know. What? Okay, whatever.
Jamie, don't be wrong and strong. That's what Tom does, and you know how he gets cooked.
Osimhen and Salah will not work. Okay.
100% it will work. That's a great partnership.
Jamie. If Nunes had the finishing ability of Victor Osimhen, Mohamed Salah's broken any and all assist record.
He would have 60 assists in the last 2 years.
I'm just telling you right now, it won't work. Osimhen is not that guy.
Okay, do we all agree that Sesko is the worst case scenario?
Yeah,
everyone agree?
I'd rather have Sesko than Osimhen.
What?
I'd rather have Benjamin Sesko than Osimhen every day of the week. It's because no one watches football. I only watch highlights. I watch football. I would rather have Osimhen over him. It's not my fault people don't watch football and only watch highlights. That's not my problem, is it?
People, please do not put this on my crimes list. I am not guilty by association. I do not agree with anything that Jamie has just said. I am not guilty by association. This is not my crime.
You got to look at the way Liverpool want to play football, man. You got to look at the way Liverpool want to play football.
Yes. Have a complete forward up front. That's what Osimhen is.
He's not a complete.
We tried to sign Kvaratskhelia. You don't think that would have worked?
Also,
we literally tried to sign Kvaratskhelia, like to set up Osimhen.
Jamie, Victor Osimhen is an elite striker. Do you think Liverpool would sit there?
He's not an elite striker. If he was, no, he's not an elite striker. If he was an elite striker, he wouldn't be playing in Turkey. He would have been bought up from someone from Napoli. If he was an elite striker, he wouldn't be on loan in Turkey. No one wanted him.
On loan in Turkey because he
no one wanted him. No one wanted him.
People wanted him. Napoli just kept taking the piss with negotiations.
Yeah, that's the reason why we
Jamie,
didn't get him.
Jamie,
No
you know
one-
this
no
better than
one-
anyone.
No one wanted him.
Since you've been doing videos, the two worst clubs to deal with are Napoli and Lyon. We all know this.
If
The
he was-
Napoli
if he was
owner
the league, just go
racially
buy him.
abused one of his own players.
So he should be
That
easy to buy then. So he should be easy to buy then.
Yeah, he is easy to buy this summer.
I don't know, man.
The
And
Di
Jay,
Laurentiis
it's
guy,
low,
you know.
low risk though as well, because
Low
the
risk.
Saudis clearly want it. The Saudis, there's clearly a market for Osimhen and Saudi, so we get him, and he struggles. Guess what?
Get rid of him.
Saudi Pro League will come in and buy him because they'll want to get rid of Nunes
Win-win.
after 2 years.
And we'll probably make more money.
Exactly.
I don't think he's an elite striker. I think he's a okay.
Even if you don't think
striker.
he's an
Well,
elite
look.
striker, there's no way you put him below Sesko. That's just horrible. You know this. That's horrible.
No. I had Benjamin Sesko in front, man.
Based on what? What does Sesko do better?
I'm
What
look.
does Sesko do better?
Firstly, I'm winding everyone up. Secondly,
No shit.
I just love the way people think that I'm being truthful. Of course, I want Osimhen, for fuck's sake. I'm just winding people up. The only thing about Benjamin Sesko, yeah, you know where everyone looks good in Germany, but comes to England and looks shit. What if it's the opposite way around with Sesko?
It can't. Yeah, but Jamie, I'm not being the dickhead that tries it.
No.
Michael's
But
being the
no,
dickhead that tries it.
of course I
It's
want
going to cost
Osimhen.
more than Nunes.
Of course,
I don't want to risk that.
of course, I want
Imagine
Osimhen.
us signing Sesko on the basis that, you know what, he was shit in Germany, maybe the case is different, and he's just shit here.
Can you imagine?
We just look like pricks.
No, I actually
Actually, the return on like Bundesliga.
Whoa! Did someone call me racist? First of all, you need to watch my videos and see who I have actually on my shows. So don't call me a racist. That's an immature thing to do.
Who called you
winding
racist?
I don't know. Someone in the chat. Someone said someone called me racist. It's a joke, guys. Of course, I want Osimhen. Jesus Christ! I was playing a wind up. Osimhen's a quality footballer. Of course, I want a goal scorer.
Guys, whoever
Fuck
called Jamie racist, please time him out right now.
Fuck me.
This is how I know we're all right on Osimhen. Because this fucking idiot has just said
time him out as
Osimhen
well.
is Nunes right now. This
No,
fucking
no,
idiot
no,
doesn't-
I think people seem to forget why people were concerned with Darwin Nunes. The man had 1 year where he. So I will explain Nunes' career for you.
Yeah,
Underperform
one
XG, underperform XG, massively to an obscene level, very rarely ever seen in European football. Overperform XG. He joins Liverpool, underperformed XG, underperforms XG, underperforms XG.
Yeah, it's underperforming.
Now,
It's terrible,
what
man.
is the trend? What out of them 4 years where I said underperformed, massively to an obscene level overperformed? Which one should I be looking at going, that's probably what's more likely to happen? The 3 years where the cunt underperformed his XG, or the 1 year where he overperformed it to an obscene level despite still missing ridiculous amounts of chances?
Whoa,
I
real
reckon that one.
McCoy, man. What the hell?
Yeah, time him out. Come on. That's ridiculous. That's
What's
just
happening in this chat? Who?
I don't
Real
know.
McCoy.
It's all kicking
Real,
off.
real McCoy.
We're all racist. Hold that.
I'm not racist. I love John Barnes.
Jesus, man.
You guys, you had the easiest
Jesus,
get out
Tom.
of jail free card. You can all say you're not racist. You're working with an Arab right now.
Exactly. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I
Jeez,
thought that was like blindingly obvious.
Easy, isn't it?
I'm surprised people still don't understand my humour and know when I'm winding people up. But there you go.
Yeah. I do think that genuinely though the worst case scenario is Sesko. I just cannot have that at all. I would genuinely find solutions from within the Premier League.
I would rather play
build
I
them
would
up.
rather force Gakpo up front than have to put up with Sesko, genuinely. I'd rather put Gakpo up front or Diaz up front for a whole season and buy a left winger than have to deal with
Diaz
not
has already
doing
scored more
Sesko.
goals. Diaz has already scored more goals as a striker this season than Darwin.
Diaz scored more goals a strike than any of my
That,
fucking
that,
strike
that,
options.
that tells you everything. Look, Osimhen, I think Osimhen, for the wages that he is and the age that he is, will be a perfect signing for Liverpool. My guy's Julian Alvarez. Everyone knows that. That's who I want more than anything.
I'm with you, mate. I'm with you.
It looks like Newcastle going to get Champions League football, so no one's buying his act.
Yeah, I mean, we done Chelsea a favour. Gave them the option. We just went, look, we'll let you beat us. Like, you have your
Yeah.
moments at Stamford Bridge. You just got to do us a favour against Newcastle. And what do? Jackson
Can't even
decides
do
to
that.
fucking people's elbow someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there ain't many strikers out there. I'll take.
No.
I ain't gonna lie.
There isn't many.
Gyökeres looks like he's going. The thing with Gyökeres, yeah, I've been burnt with a player from Portugal before that scores a lot of goals. So I'm not.
The difference is he's done it in the what's it called?
In the
He's done it in
championship,
the
Coventry,
championship.
didn't he? Yeah, Coventry.
Well, that means it's going to work then, doesn't it? Because you play well in the championship.
Who else is available? Who do you think there might be out there that there's no rumours
There are
about?
four. You've got to break the striker market down to 4 categories. There's the genuine,
Really?
100% they will work. That is your Osimhen, your what's it called? Your Isak, your Alvarez. These are guys that have done it in multiple top 5 leagues, have won golden boots, have won titles. They are your definites. Then you move to the next category. Minor concerns.
Deal absolutely on is what Fabrizio is saying regarding Frimpong. Frimpong.
It's basically
That's
done.
basically
Did you see?
You want to know what's funny? A month ago,
you see the
and Tom will
Instagram
tell you
tweet from
this
his
by the
agent?
people we spoke to. Genuinely, a month ago, Frimpong was just a PR thing. Now it's real.
Mhm.
Like
Did
it was
you see
actually
the
just genuinely
Instagram?
just PR.
The Instagram post yesterday from his agent
Yeah, his agent flew into Manchester yesterday
He's on
to
the
sort out
motorway.
a deal.
on the motorway off to sort out his contract. Obviously,
Let's go. Frimpong will be a red.
let's go.
Go on, Tom. What you saying, man?
So you've got your elite world-class strikers that are in category 1 that will always work. You could put Harry Kane to that, even though I don't think he'd leave. Then you've got like your strikers with minor doubts. So like whether it's the league they're in or whether it's, an attribute thing. So that's where your Retegui fits in. He's performed majorly well in the top 5 league, but would that translate out again? Gyökeres, ridiculous numbers into minor leagues. Would he be able to bring that up to the Premier League, etc.? Then you've got 3, which is massively overpriced, but there's a good potential there. So Ekatike's in the category 3. They're asking for close to 100 million quid for him. He's not worth that, but there is a lot of potential there that you can work with. And then there is Benjamin Sesko. Benjamin Sesko is bottom of the barrel. I would sooner sign Cameron Archer from Southampton than watch my club spend 100 million Great British pounds on Benjamin fucking Sesko.
There's 3 others.
He's category 4.
There's 3 others as well, by the way, which I wouldn't rule them out as well. There's Brian Mbeumo. Like, serious, Liverpool will be looking at that guy. Everything about the data, you say trust the nerds, everything about him is an Edwards signing. Like, and Thomas Frank's already said that he's going to be leaving.
I just think that.
And there's one other guy, Tom.
He's not a lone
striker. There's one other guy. I'm scouting this guy, by the way, Gonzalo Ramos from PSG. I think he's massively underrated.
Benfica guy. Kmack.
Benfica scam.
Benfica again.
Benfica are scammers.
We have never got anything without Benfica. There's
but PSG have. He's done well with PSG. He plays for PSG.
Has he? He was better than Randall Colomwani. That's about it. He's benched.
He's a goal scorer, mate.
You know what he is? Gonzalo Ramos is the PSG version of Gabriel Jesus, the striker that was benched for a team that didn't play a striker. Wow. Remember when Jesus was holding bench for Kevin De Bruyne, false 9? That's what Ramos is doing now.
Goals this season. He's not.
It's league
garbage. He scores a lot of goals. He's not terrible. He's really not terrible.
I don't see it with him. I don't see it.
Anyway, that's
I know what Tom is saying about Retegui, but I would rather Retegui than like Sesko. I would rather so many people than Sesko, guys.
Hasn't he had like 2?
Mason Greenwood is not a fucking shout because I don't want my club to sign that guy. Chill out.
Never.
I'll take
proven goals going forward.
The thing's amazing. Thing with Mason Greenwood, if he weren't such an arsehole in real life and a nasty human being, he's actually
a hell of a player.
Yeah, but he's just he's one of the nastiest human beings, man. So
yeah, I ain't gonna do that.
I'd take both of Wolves strikers before I take Sesko. Can people?
I think Alderodian is a good shot as well.
I'd take Mateta. Someone like Mateta, I'd take him over Sesko.
Yeah, same. I'd take
Mateta's numbers are mental. Have you seen?
I wish we signed Mateta last January when Tom laughed at me and started
Mateta's numbers are good, but he seems to be very purple patch as a striker.
I'd rather my striker have a purple patch than have no patch. I'd rather have 2 months where they score goals, a whole season where they don't score any goals.
I can see. I don't know why it is. I can still see us doing Ekatike. I reckon they do some kind of installment.
We understand people in the chat that the bar is low for a striker, but Kyogo Furuhashi is not the level. I'm going to draw the line at some point. I'm not having Kyogo Furuhashi as my number 9 at Liverpool. Despite the fact he scored plenty of goals in Scotland, I'm not having him be my number 9 for Liverpool Football Club. There's a line that you have to like. There's a point where you have to draw the line. I think there's a world though. If we, I know that we're saying that Liverpool should get a goal scoring striker, and I think that should be priority. But if that situation doesn't present itself for whatever reason, do you think there's a world where we just buy a couple of 10s or a couple of wingers and I play that system that we played against Aston Villa and City for a bit, where you'll keep Jota stays like this striker option that you need in case of. But that system that we played against Villa and City, the double 10, do we think we could see that again if the market for strikers just isn't there this summer? And you see us go out and buy like a Shaky and a Xavi Simons, and we end up with like 2 10s, a left winger and a right winger, or a false 9 and a 10 and a left winger and a right winger, something like that.
If we're willing to spend money, then surely we could go and get Rodrigo, or we could go and get.
Hell yeah, Rodrigo's better than anyone we mentioned.
Because there's loads of stuff now on the media saying that he wants out.
Yeah,
he refused to play in the.
And you also have to look at who Xabi Alonso going to play. Like Xabi Alonso really rates Arda Güler because he wanted him at Bayern, so he's probably gonna take up a slot now in the first team.
The thing with Xabi Alonso's system, obviously he ain't gonna play Rodrigo left wing back, is he? So.
No.
There's no good Dutch strikers, is there? I mean, we're going all Dutch. I was just trying to think,
You want
just think of Dutch players.
Anyone?
Wout Weghorst?
Weghorst, yeah, just think Weghorst.
Luke de Jong?
Oh God, no.
Are we talking about the wages for Oshiman?
Ain't de Jong like 38 years old?
Yes.
Yeah, he's very old.
I just don't know who we bloody get. I really don't.
There's a name that Noah's just put in there, by the way. That, if you don't know about him, Slot turned him into an absolute goal machine. Boda, his name is. He's Dutch.
Yeah, but he's also quite shit now.
And he plays in France.
Yeah.
Turned him into a goal machine.
Okay, and let me just grab these super chats before we get out of here. Big up to Inside Anfield, says corner taken quickly was Frimpong. Can we agree? There we are.
Oh my God.
No. It was Robbo. It was there. I saw it.
Robertson went on the pitch at that point. It was Milner.
No, it was Milner. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Big up Milner.
Let's not forget Frimpong counts as homegrown. That's actually another thing because he is obviously City Academy, so he does count as homegrown. So that's something that's massively important. People downplay it, but it is quite important because it's a homegrown spot, which I think is unreally important as fuck.
Have you heard that? It looks like Kelleher's going to Leeds for 40 million.
40 million.
That's brilliant.
So
who's going to Leeds?
Queven Kelleher is apparently going to Leeds for 40 million. So if that's the case, that buys Frimpong. There you go.
If that's the case, we've bought Mamardashvili and made a profit.
Yeah,
we made a profit on our goalkeeping situation.
We're really going to do.
Kelleher also the academy, isn't it?
That's what Liverpool want. If they get 40 million, I don't know, but apparently Leeds want Kelleher badly. I was watching, Joe. He was doing his show earlier.
They've got Melier. He's fucking shit as well.
Yeah.
Also, Brian Mbuemo is homegrown, by the way. That's a random one. Yeah, homegrown.
Brian Mbuemo was homegrown. How?
Brian Mbuemo is homegrown because he's been in the country long enough now, and he came through the academy, didn't he?
No, he was at Troyes in France.
Sure he's homegrown.
No, he won't be. He can't be homegrown. I don't think he's.
See, this is why Scraps cooks you. That's why Scraps cooks you.
No, honestly, I looked it up. I've looked it up a couple of days.
I don't think he's been here long enough.
Hang on, let me check through my 2 seconds.
I'll be honest with you, I'm really happy we're getting Frimpong. I'm really happy we're getting Frimpong. I'm really happy.
Oh, sorry, no, it's not him. It's João Pedro. Sorry, I got mixed
Yeah,
up.
João Pedro, because he's joined what?
Yeah, João Pedro's homegrown.
And
Yeah,
Semenyo.
Well,
Sorry,
I'm
Semenyo's
not-
homegrown as well.
I'm not doing
Look
João
at
Pedro either.
that fella's homegrown.
My bad. My bad.
Oh dear.
Yeah, Semenyo and João Pedro are homegrown. Sorry.
Yes, Semenyo. I'm pretty sure Semenyo's lived in England his whole life.
Yeah, sorry. My bad.
I'm slightly stressed about Slot's contract.
It was a
Why are
howler,
you
Red
stressed
Vision.
about-
It was a howler.
No,
Why are you
Slot's contract
stressed
will be
about
sorted.
Slot's contract?
Well, he's only got he only got given a 3-year deal, didn't he?
Got 2 left, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, we'll extend him next season if we win the league again.
He let's be honest, he fucking loves it here. He loves the fact he can go out
think
beating
we're
him.
in
He's made
talks
out to
already,
be a
mate.
fucking king.
I think we're in talks. Contract PT.
Why not get John Duran from Saudi?
Yeah, but
There, and it's going to be very expensive as well.
I'm all right. Why would I take it? I've sat there and said I want a guaranteed goal scorer, and you want me to sign the most purple patch fucker that the Premier League's seen for the last couple of years? John Duran. I'm all right, Again, there has to be an element of standards. If we've given Salah and Van Dijk 2
If Tom is
years-
talking about standards, there has to be a truth to it.
Exactly. I'm the guy who would take many strikers who've got like 15
This
goals
guy
all
wants
season.
Guesan, chat.
Yeah, Guesson's an incredible potential striker, but I draw the line at some point where I go, if we're buying for Salah and Van Dijk's last 2 years, let's not make it so that the players are good for 2 years after Salah and Van Dijk have gone. Let's not have Salah and Van Dijk's last 2 years being fucking facilitating young players' growth.
No more projects, Tom. Not in the number 9 position.
We
Needs
need
to
to be serious
proven.
at some point.
If we don't buy it, we could be getting a striker that we'd not even be linked with,
Yeah, I know.
I'd love to know who, because we've been linked with fucking everyone.
Which worries me.
Scraps, I've watched more OGC Nice this season than you. I can promise you that.
Pairs, OGC Nice. Let's go. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap up the stream here. Big up everyone who sent a super chat. Big up to everyone who's showing us love. Thank you to Kmack and Jamie as well joining us last minute. Big up to Jerry as well who joined us last minute. Guys, we are literally just...
No big ups Tom Little for being here from the start.
We're literally 20 likes away from 500 likes. Please like the video on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. Tom Little with a 1 on YouTube, Twitter, Insta, the X in the description. Jamie Phillips Football Chats in the description. Kmack channel in the description.
I'm on the road to 1,000. Go and like and subscribe, guys.
Scraps, can you subscribe to Kmack, please?
I'm
Oh,
not
he
watching.
just bigged up Kmack. Oh my God, let's go. Let's go. This is the first time
Bomber.
ever.
That's a bomber.
Bomber right there. That's a real bomber right there. The Scraps just big up Kmack. Can you subscribe
Always
to Kmack,
forgotten.
please? Yeah, please subscribe to him. We need to subscribe to him. If you subscribe to him, there will be world peace.
I can't help but notice there was a name that you've ignored on your list there, Scraps.
Oh. Oh, so what? It's like one
Everyone's
in, one
just
out.
in the
He's such a shit
elation
stirrer.
of Kmack getting
He's
a mention.
He's found a new enemy.
Jamie, is that actually you in disguise? I'm kind of thinking like maybe you got like another account and you're just typing in there.
What, Scraps? No, Scraps is
You
actually
wind
my
up
pal.
merchant.
I love Scraps, man. He's my pal.
Not today, Nicky, but I'll get a stream out at some point this week.
It was intentional, yeah.
Scraps, have you subscribed to Kmack? Please let us know.
I'm live in half an hour if people want to join as well. So.
Yes, let's go, guys. Jamie Phillips Football Chats in the description, guys. Please go give him a subscribe right now. Go check out his content. Until next time, guys. See you guys later. I'm back at 9 p.m. UK. If Vel, the fucking useless,
For what?
sends me a thumbnail. Tom, don't worry about my channel. This
No,
is the Don.
I'm curious. I'm wanting to get it out known to the public what show it's going to be.
We're just here, Premier League show, innit? I got 2 Arsenal fans, 2 Chelsea fans, and a United fan. Just gonna talk about football. As per usual.
Fair enough.
Nothing.
There we go.
Don't worry.
Catch you later, guys.
See you guys.
Tom, thanks for being here.